Hello, dear friend. Today we'll be breaking down the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. Old Man Logan, Doctor Strange's portals, Return of Azazel, and Lady Deathstrike. Get ready for a load of roof-raising humor and Wolverine's smile at the sight of a gun pointed at him. The thrill of fan experiences watching the Deadpool 3 trailer is beyond measure. Just one trailer, one cool project is enough for all of us, just like in 2018, to go into ecstasy and somehow emerge from it within a couple of minutes to deliver an analysis. Hit the like button and buckle up as we're diving into the universe of Old Man Logan. The second trailer focuses almost entirely on Wolverine. We finally have confirmation that this is indeed an original version of the character that somehow led to the destruction of his universe. Not entirely, as there's at least a bar left, though the bartender isn't too happy to see Logan. And you know what this reminds me of? The plot of Old Man Logan, where 50 years before the start of the comic, a final battle occurred between heroes and villains, with the villains winning and conquering the planet, turning it into a Mad Max-level post-apocalypse. The twist is that Wolverine helped the villains kill the X-Men, not someone else, but Wolverine himself, due to an illusion by Mysterio. In reality, Logan killed the X-Men. Horrified by his actions, poor Logan threw himself under a train but didn't die. That was the day Wolverine died, leaving only Logan, who didn't pop his claws for the next 50 years. Deadpool jokes that this happens to Wolverines over 40. Wade is wrong, as Logan's claws didn't pop simply because he hadn't used them in a long time. In general, this version of Wolverine is pulled from the world of Old Man Logan, or a universe painfully similar to it. But Logan is not as old as in the comic, making it a kind of prequel. This explains many frames that seem taken from Mad Max, plus or minus what the universe turned into after the death of its people. And it's ruled by a whole gang of Hulks causing havoc. Here's the potential for cameos, whether by Mark Ruffalo or a female Hulk. In the comics, Logan even had children with her. Now let's move on to Deadpool. His world, as we learned from touching photos, is also under threat of destruction. Why? One can guess endlessly. A portal from Doctor Strange appears in the frame, hinting at the appearance of the sorcerer and the use of the incursion concept presented in the multiverse of madness. This is when two worlds collide, and one of them ends up worse off. On the other hand, there's the void from the Loki series, and Deadpool's universe could be dying either due to events from the first season or from events in the second. It's nice that any outcome promises an unreal mountain of fan service, familiar characters, and humor, like Ant-Man. He was shown in the trailer, but with a nuance of a huge dead head, which serves as the villain's base of X-Men, specifically a head, not a helmet. Because if you look closely, you can see that poor Scott Lang's teeth and skull are present, or Hank Pym in the same plot from Old Man Logan, killed by Red Skull in the form of a giant, and around Hank's skeleton in Connecticut, they built a whole village under the cute name Aim Falls. Now you understand where the screenwriters drew their inspiration, and it's clear that from the eye socket of Ant-Man's head, Logan and Wade jump out at the end of the trailer through Doctor Strange's portal. And it's clear that at the fan service festival, new heroes, clearly visible in the photo with Ant-Man's skull, are Azazel and Lady Deathstrike. Azazel from First Class, and it seems, played by the same actor. Lady Deathstrike is Wolverine's girlfriend from X-Men 2. Nearby, it seems, is Toad from the original Jackman trilogy. And in the distance behind the car sits Pyro, exactly in the pose we saw him in the first trailer. There's no doubt that familiar faces with the final version of the movie will be even more. And apparently, the scene does not take place in the void, as we thought, looking at the first trailer. Despite the quick frame with Alioth, earlier in this frame, Pyro sits next to a car straight from Mad Max. Yes, and the appearance of the surroundings is appropriate, just as it should be in the universe of Old Man Logan. It seems that this villain is from the world version of Wolverine, who befriended Deadpool, and even more likely that we've been classic victims of trailer deceptions, in the sense that Pyro and other mutants will appear in the film, but only as a funny montage in the first third. But the main plot will be about something else, most likely about Cassandra Nova, played by Emma Corrin. Now this is official, and there can be no two opinions. Emma will indeed play the evil twin sister of Charles Xavier with similar abilities. As for whether she is good or bad, her biography speaks best. In the womb, her unborn Charles tried to kill her, a common thing for twins. Cassandra miraculously survived by turning her body into energy, and collecting the remaining DNA crumbs from her mother's placenta. She painfully and slowly rebuilt her body. Poor Xavier had no idea about the existence of his sister, who, in turn, wanted to remind herself by destroying not only Charles, but all mutants, especially men. Behind Cassandra is the death of 16 million mutants on Genosha in one day. In general, a woman of unprecedented kindness and broad soul, just what is needed for a threat to Deadpool's universe. Indeed, how Logan and Wade could harm her is unclear. But that makes it more interesting, as Marvel hasn't had villains on Thanos' level for a long time. Considering that Deadpool will migrate to the main Marvel Cinematic Universe after the film, we cannot deny that Cassandra might win, and Wade's native world might indeed be destroyed. It would be a repeat of the Infinity War, but these are just theories. The fact is that the scripts were finally written by people who understand superheroes, and the references are indeed subtle and sometimes funny. In one of the frames in the background, you can see a destroyed snack bar named Liefeld Just Feet. Rob Liefeld is the creator of Deadpool as a character. And for 20 years, all comic fans have laughed that Liefeld, despite his genius, somehow can't draw his character's legs. And to finally knock everyone out, the creators also addressed the main user complaint. In the first photo posted by Ryan Reynolds, Wolverine was in the classic yellow costume, but with sleeves, it seems trivial. But for comic fans, the question is serious because Wolverine in a yellow costume without sleeves is the real primitive canon, and with sleeves, it's not quite right. Fans expressed their dissatisfaction, and in the trailer, Wolverine was shown with big, muscular arms. They do look like graphics in a couple of frames, but considering Hugh Jackman's real arms, which he boasted about while preparing for the project, everything looks fair. It's also interesting where the pair flies through Doctor Strange's portal at the end of the clip. It would be incredible if we learned post-factum in the final battle of the Avengers against Thanos that Logan and Deadpool were there. This is exactly what is called a retcon in the comics. When amendments are made to the canon, as it were, but retrospectively, neatly, and no one is really against it, it will just have to be explained what the guys were doing for 5 years after the finale, but strictly speaking, even Kevin Feige doesn't know what everyone was doing those 5 years. So there will be no problem here, especially since it's about a project that hasn't lost its appeal. Deadpool 3 has retained all the elements of the Fox Cinematic Universe parts, and especially the musical one, with a Madonna's track Like a Prayer, chosen as the soundtrack to the clip. This is a song about a little girl who fell in love with God, and he became the only male figure in her life. The little girl is Deadpool, and God in this context is Wolverine, as both Deadpool's idol and the only person who can save his universe. Why exactly Logan and how all this will be is not of the first importance. The main thing is that $1.5 billion in box office for the movie is, you might say, a resolved question. Fans missing superheroes will wear out all the seats in theaters. In this context, Madonna's song is even funnier as it resonates with the first trailer, where Wade called himself Marvel's Jesus. So it really is, but it all depends on Ryan Reynolds whether the interest in superheroes among the general public will return. Theaters have recovered after COVID. Barbie has already collected $1 billion, and there can be no excuses. If Deadpool and Wolverine collects huge money, it means it was not due to people being tired of superheroes, but the quality of the films. If it doesn't collect, then fatigue is true. We really want to believe in the first option, because Deadpool's potential in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is very big. Behead, Spider-Man, Loki, Hulk, whomever Wade runs into, it will be bloody, fun, and interesting. And if Kevin Feige can keep Wolverine along with Deadpool for a couple of 3 films, that would be really cool, since everything is heading exactly to that. The image of Logan chosen is not too old. It's still a version in the prime of life, and there will be no repeat of the 2017 movie. In our humble opinion, Hugh Jackman has managed to show a recognizable, but at the same time, new version of the character, and we really hope that the final version of the film will meet all expectations. What do you think? Share details, theories, and reviews in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell. But for now, that's all. See you soon, friends.